Hello, my name's Hans, and today at Rimmer Brothers we're going to be replacing the rear differential bushes on this TR6. As you can see, these are the new Polybushes we're going to be fitting. Before we start, we need to remove this rear section of exhaust. We have one exhaust hanger here, we need to undo that bolt. And right at the back, there's another clamp and a hanger, we need to undo that. After we've done those two, there's two clamps at the front, and we need to undo those two clamps and withdraw the exhaust out the back. Okay, we're going to, using a 1/2 inch wrench, undo this bolt. We'll leave this one just slightly loose till we're ready to withdraw it out the back. Now you can see we have a lot more room now the exhaust is out of the way. We're going to disconnect the front prop shaft using two 9/16 spanners. Slow process, but nice when we can get our fingers on it. Well, that's the last bolt out of the way. We can carefully push it forward slightly. Hopefully we don't need to undo these two, we can just move it backwards slightly. As you can see, we've now supported the differential with this transmission jack. We're going to undo all the mounting nuts. Just pull off. That's the two front mountings disconnected. Now we need to do a centre bolt, then the two little outer ones. We have some 5/16 nuts and bolts here, which I'm going to cheat and use this tool to get them off. Just going to lower this down a little bit. As you can see, we've got a lot more room to get to the top of the bolts. Just enough room to pop those out. With the rear bushes out of the way, we've actually moved the differential rearwards, and now there's just enough room for the edge of that and the other edge to slip between the actual chassis of the car. Now we've lowered this bit down in between the chassis, it only just fits. I mean, it really does only just fit, but there is just enough room to lower down the bush and remove it like so. To do the job in the factory workshop manual, it does recommend removing the whole differential, which involves undoing those 4 nuts and bolts and these 4, and actually lowering down the whole differential. This way we've managed to save the work undoing those 8 bolts, keep it up in position, and making it easier to refit. Okay, these are the new top bushes. Right, we're going to lift the front up and hold it up, fit the bottom bush. shall use a new nut. Okay, so we've just got the front ones on, just on about 4 or 5 threads. We're going to do the rear mounts. Before we fit these rear bushes, we're going to explain that when we took them apart earlier, you might have noticed that they were incorrectly fitted. These were mounted that way up, and that flange was sitting on the top. In fact, the flange needs to be sitting on the bottom, and it needs to be the other way up. So it should be fitted like that, really. As you can see, we've inserted the bush on either side of the flange and inserted the tube. Now there's a washer with a small hole that goes on the bottom, and we have a washer with a big hole that goes on the top. We only use this washer if we have a long stud up from the chassis. It's welded in, you can't change it without major work, but we've measured and it's actually 62 millimeters, so we need to discard the top washer and fit it without it. This bit now sits on the chassis just like the original one. As you can see, I'm using the vernier to measure from the edge of the stud to the top, and that works out at 62 millimeters, and this is definitely a short stud. If you've got a long stud, you use the extra washer up there. Okay, we're going to, as you can see, we've inserted 2 bolts on there. We're going to slide this up. As you can see, it lines up pretty well. Be careful that the bushes don't come out of the flange. If they do, you'll have to start all over again. As you can see, I'm using a spanner I've cut in half to do the top ones. Can jack it up a little bit and see if we can get this out. Not going to screw it all the way up because I need to fit the other side, so I'm just going to lower it down a little bit again. Just need to do that on that side now. Okay, as you can see, we've already got the 2 top bolts in. We're going to now insert this up. As you can see, everything's lined up and it all fits into place. Bit fiddly doing these nuts. When we've got all the nuts and everything back in place, we'll torque these up to what the workshop manual says. As you can see, I'm just tightening these up evenly so that the bushes don't come out of the flange. So these 4 bolts here that should be tightened up to £25 per foot. Well, I wasn't far off, was I? That was tight. Yep. Well, we've fitted the prop shaft, put all the 4 bolts in and tightened them up as tight as we can go. Can't really get a torque wrench in there. Okay, we're going to fit the exhaust as the last item. Should just slide along. Get one pipe to slot in. That's it, we've got both pipes in. Should be able to just wiggle it down into position. As you can see, it's gone perfectly on. We've just got to do the rear mounting and the one over there. We'll just leave that loose while we get the other one in position. Right, now we've got these two bolts on, we can tighten them up. So that's the mountings all put on, just got to tighten up the clamps. Okay, as you can see, we've got it all back together. Just like to remind everyone, these are the 3/8 threaded stud, and they tightened up to £25 per foot. These are 5/16 UNF, and these bolts are all tightened up to £20 per foot. For our next video, we shall be doing the front suspension wishbone bushes and all the bushes associated in that area.